Hello, this is just an explanation of the glossary of terms used in the Code with Altino program. You can just read it if you like. You don't really need to listen to my voice, but I do sort of do a little bit of explanation as I go. You probably don't need to listen to this first up. Probably just run a couple of the programs and then go back to this glossary, because if you haven't had exposure to technology before, you're probably going to forget it all anyway, but it's always here as a reference. So let's get started. You're going to hear a lot about algorithms. An algorithm is a set of step-by-step instructions followed when performing a task. So, for instance, by a computer program. So you'll see the word algorithm, for instance, mentioned a lot by the NESA syllabus, the New South Wales Education syllabus. That's basically what an algorithm is. An application, that is a computer program or group of programs that help a user perform a specific task. So you may hear a lot of the word, obviously, app used. So Scion has apps for Altino. So people use apps all the time on their mobile phones. What that means is an application. So that's the meaning. A branch is a point in a program where two different options are available to choose from. And that's getting to a point where you're getting a computer to actually make a decision. Bug. This is a really good word to use with your students. So that is an error in a program's code that makes it behave in an unexpected way. So for instance, when they get to text-based programming, or they could even be with block-based programming, where the robot's certainly responding and the program is running, but it's not doing what they expect. So what you explain is there is a bug. So there is a bug in the program. It's got nothing to do with the technology. It's got nothing to do with the robot. It's to do with the programmer. And it means that the programmer needs to problem solve and identify where that bug is in the programming. Cobot, as we explained in the learning design, delivering code part of the facilitators program, that's a Scion Australia proprietary learning method, stands for competency-based outcomes and technology. What is code? Code is a set of clear step-by-step instructions for programming a computer so that it can perform specific tasks. And you will see examples of code all over the curriculum for students to copy. Debug. This follows bug, to look for and correct errors in a program. So using the word bug, you can say, looks like you have a bug, now you need to debug. What that means is look for and correct errors in a program. Event, something a computer program can react to, such as a key being pressed or the mouse being clicked. So this is used a lot in interactive programs. So for instance, you've set up a website, you've designed a website. An event is when the user makes a click on a link. That's an event. The computer is reacting to a user. Function. That is a piece of code that does part of a larger task. Not the best explanation, but you'll look at functions in the C Arduino course, for example. The Scratch programming doesn't go into functions, and that has a proper definition as part of that program, because the students will actually learn how to write functions. Loop, part of a program that repeats itself to prevent the need for the same piece of code to be typed out multiple times. We actually have specific modules on loops. They're great for effective programming, and they're fun for students to set up. Operator, a symbol that performs a specific function. And really, we're talking about plus, minus, multiply, etc. There's different types of operators, which we'll talk through in the text-based programming. But really, when you're talking about operators in more basic programming, you're talking about plus, subtraction, etc. Operator. Oh, I think we just had that one. That's obviously a typo. Program, a set of instructions that a computer follows in order to complete a task. Programming language, a language that is used to give instructions to a computer. So we've talked through lots of different programming languages that Altino teaches in. Scratch language, Python, C, for example. Raspberry Pi, we looked at this in a previous module. It's a credit card sized computer originally designed for education. It is a low-cost device aimed to improve programming skills and hardware understanding at the pre-university level. Scratch. This is a visual programming language that uses block statements, popularly used as a beginner's language. Sprite is a movable object, but really what it is, when you look at the Scratch program, for example, most people, students, when they learn how to program in Scratch, actually program a sprite. And this is why we feel that our program is much more advanced, because the students are actually programming a real life object, not just an animated sprite. And a variable is a name place where you can store information that can be changed. Not the best definition. Variable is a really important programming concept, and we really describe it well when we get to that module as part of your program. So that's just to give you a bit of a heads up for some glossaries of terms. Thank you.